Welcome to another episode of Understanding the Science of You, where this one is going to be a solo one, where I just wanted to share some of my thoughts as a piggyback to my conversation with Ruby as interview, as well then as our subsequent follow-up where we did an Ask a Squirrel session, right, which was a ton of fun. And so what I wanted to kind of share was what I learned through nature and through animals, right? And it's been a little bit, anyway. So that's kind of what I just wanted to share with you today, and it's sharing my understanding the science of myself with you, and in hopes that can help as well. And so one of the things that watching and observing that really became obvious to me is, well, at least obvious from my perspective, is the intelligent design behind everything, right? Whether it be looking at the grass and understanding how does clover decide when to pop up, and understanding, I think it's clover, right? And that clover is what is also used to increase the nitrogen in the soil to improve the soil. So I didn't do anything, nothing that I had to do with anything I had to do that. All of a sudden, clover just showed up in my yard, right? And so when you start to recognize that, and you start to see that every animal, everything, has its purpose. Look, and some of them may, seem harsh or right, or some people can say nature is cruel, but I've come to learn that nature is not cruel. Nature is teaching, and look, and adversity, is a tremendous learning tool. So anyway, so that the big thing then, that as I started watching and observing this, was that I came to my own personal belief that everything is just governed by intelligent design. I'm not talking about a religion or a dogma or a philosophy or anything else, just simply that everything was purposefully created and designed to work together, to complement each other, to learn from each other. So everything has its own purpose and its outcome, right? As well as that, all of us have, humans are not the only conscious and sentient beings on Earth, right? Many, animals fall into that category, and so, but in order to kind of recognize that, it took me understanding a bit more of being able to come to my own understanding of a universal intelligence. And so I'll give an example of a universal intelligence that is one of my little chipmunks, right? So I'm fortunate that I can spend my 2 to 3 hours each morning just hanging out with my little bit in my backyard, and feeding squirrels or birds or chipmunks, and different animals have they've all got their own different personalities, and some are more engaging than others. And the chipmunks tended to be very skittish, but one started to emerge as recognizing that when I would open up the door, and that wasn't meant to shoo them away, but it meant that food was coming, right? And so he stayed brave, and then that bravery followed to when I would be in the garage, and I looked over and I saw the little chipmunk staring at me, and so then I threw him a nut, in which case he went, grabbed the nut, and went back. And so in this very brief moment, what I recognized was, right, this chipmunk demonstrated a desired outcome, which was to receive nourishment, right? Then, had individualized actions and intent to support that, right? So recognized me, however it is, right, in the garage, came up, stood there looking at me, waiting until there was some sort of acknowledgement of each other's existence, and then waited to see how I reacted. And in anticipation then of what it wanted, which was me to toss it food, it recognized me tossing it food, then grabbed it and went on its way, right? And then rinse and repeat. And so when I started to think about understanding a universal intelligence as being purposeful, as creative, as problem solving, as being able to comprehend, right? I watched animals exhibit their own scientific kind of method in the feeding, right? Especially with the squirrels. I saw they would recognize the door open, and I'd watch them look up and around, and they'd recognize the door frame and how it opens, and then I would watch them retrace their steps to try to understand some sort of causation or relationship between them, their action or movement, and the door opening and food popping out, and how that would be. And then trying to for them to figure out, can they control the situation? Do they have the ability to control when food comes out? Is it random? Is it not random? And then watch them adapt and learn how to become comfortable with that system, was quite fascinating. And to watch each of them learn at their own different times. And some desire more, will come closer and more engagement than others. And generally speaking, they will, wait until the door closes before approaching food, right? And so again, continuing to demonstrate individual thought and comprehension, which, I say this humorously, but also because it frightens me what I see out there. I go to a cash register to check out, and it's challenging to get somebody to look up and acknowledge me from their own phone, right? So the demonstration of desired outcome, intent, and purposefulness of action, etc. I see a lot more of intelligence demonstrated that way. In some cases, I'm looking at my backyard and through my own personal experiences. So we'll address that one. But that's it. That's why we're talking about this stuff, right? Is for those that are looking to live life more purposefully. Well, we're trying to provide all different reasons and ways to do that. So anyway, through understanding that intelligence differently, then that allowed me to expand into, okay, now I can kind of step in other people's shoes. What appears to be cruel, I can understand as part of a learning process. And I can start to see how, look, as part of this intelligent design, right, by understanding what makes us the same, it makes it much easier to find win-win solutions to problems, as opposed to finding solutions based on who's bigger or who's stronger or who has bigger weapons, that go boom, etc. And so some of what I saw of what made us all together was, look, every sentient being possesses their own personality, survival instincts, values, and beliefs, right? Right? Values and beliefs can be, a common similarity is the outlook towards young and the care for young, and an understanding and perspective of, are all young expected to make it, not make it, and and how nurturing occurs for those that may be experiencing physical or other difficulties compared to siblings, right? Look, and through experiential learning, we're all focused on increasing our intelligence, learning how to become better problem solvers, learning how to understand, learning how to expand consciousness, our own consciousness, through expanding our ability to comprehend, right? Increasing our intelligence, right? Wanting to feel safe, right? I think we all desire to be able to walk outside and go about our business and not have to worry and looking over our shoulder and having a fear-based outcome, right? We all want to be able to just focus on doing what we want to do and being carefree and joyfully explore. Right? And we all desire to live as an individual, along with contributing to the survival and advancement of our species, right? Whether or not, we agree with the species, is separate from understanding why that species wants to exist, why a species is having its experiences to further the knowledge and the evolution, right, of its species. We can all relate to that. And being able to relate to that means there's no reason to hold it against anybody, because we're all doing it, right? Right. And ultimately then, if we're all doing it, and if we're all recognizing that we're all working it out, meaning, understanding how to be us and how to live in harmony with our surroundings and our place in the circle of life and our circle in the cosmos and in energies, and learning how to learn from each other, well, then we can also all learn how to live free and be happy, right? I think everybody desires to live free and be happy, right? And if we think about when we all learn best, we can really learn from nature here, which is living a life of play and curiosity, right? I mean, squirrels are a magnificent example of being able to live a life of play and curiosity, right? To sit back and watch them form their hypotheses and then test them out and to test boundaries, has been truly fascinating to me and eye-opening. And so when it comes to, what else do we have to learn from each other? I wanted to kind of share two last stories to wrap up with. One of them was I had to start questioning some of my produce, right, and my nuts, because animals have got tremendous instincts in understanding, the health of foods, right? And so when I provide nuts or vegetables and the squirrels that will sniff them away and not eat them, I have to wonder just how much stuff has been sprayed on these things, right? And do I need to wash them better, or do I need to, or is there just a problem with there's so much stuff being spread all over, pesticides and everything everywhere, that it's just a sad reality. I don't know. I'm still learning about that one, going through my own testing period. But the other one was much more fascinating and eye-opening to me, which happened with a duck. And so I was really excited when ducks started showing up, and all of a sudden I noticed one of the ducks had a bad foot. And of course I got really, bothered and sad. I never like to see anything suffering. And so I thought to myself, gosh, this makes me sad. I wish there was something I could do to help the duck. I wonder what happens to this. I wonder if that was like a snapping turtle or what it was. And so from there, I felt drawn to Google, ducks and broken feet, and it came to find out that that was very common. And then, I'll call it, you want to call it intuition, a sixth sense, you know, consciousness, expansion of consciousness talking to me, whatever it might be. It then drew me to recognize that, in Google, it talks about ducks. This happens as a result of not being in the proper surroundings, potentially not having the right diet, and also as a result of not landing properly, right? Well, and so, getting a bum foot certainly is a great deterrent to learn how to land properly, without a doubt, right? Also understanding, surroundings, and making sure that being fluid and understanding when to stay in your surroundings, when to leave your surroundings, and recognizing what surroundings are conducive to your best self is a great way for your foot not working properly to give you that type of feedback. And the other one is diet, right? And this is where man it comes into harmony with this. Is, look, if the surroundings are right and the ducks are landing properly, well, we got to wonder, like, is there something that we're doing that's changing the diet that is having an adverse effect, right? And so are the ducks and what's happening with the ducks, a symptom of something else larger, and that's drawing our attention to that, right? And so being able to have that connectivity with the different energies of the consciousness to understand if when we're doing something that we need to be, that the animals their actions are actually teaching us. And so that opened up that experience with ducks, and recognizing both how all animals have got their different challenges that are wired into their experiences to help learn and shape their survival instincts, and expand their evolution, and ability to adapt and evolve. Right? We all have those things, and so in that respect, I started to recognize nature as no longer being cruel, but being as a tremendous teacher. Right? And let's face it, adversity, the pain, challenges is a phenomenal teacher and deterrent. Um, and so, anyway, thanks for letting me share with you the different ways that I've had the pleasure of being taught by through nature and animals, and has vastly enriched my living experience. And I also want to share that look, we're all meant to be able to understand and experience these things, right? And that's why I share this. And so hopefully something I've said helps somebody else to better connect to their surroundings and enjoy and improve their quality of life as well. So have yourselves a phenomenal and awesome week.